to the 10th session of SwaMann. SwaMann, Swasth. Friends, last 1.5 years, the whole world has been facing COVID pandemic. And along with COVID pandemic, everyone is also facing mental health pandemic. So as a mental health professional, in Jan of this year, 2021, I started this campaign called SwaMann with the idea of spreading this awareness amongst the people and helping people to deal with their mental and emotional issues. So last 9 sessions, friend, we have focused mainly on the impurities of mind, the Swachh, how to identify the impurities. What are the different impurities like anger, then there is a greed, jealousy, anxiety, fear. So all those impurities we identified, we spoke about it, and we have also learned simple tips to overcome all those impurities. Now is the time to focus on the mental illnesses. So for that, today's topic is when mind falls sick. How do we know? What are the ideas? What happens exactly when mind falls sick? Okay. So looking at the illnesses of it, and as you can see there, the BPS, Bombay Psychiatric Society. So we are also doing it under the banner of Bombay Psychiatric Society. So friends, 10th October is celebrated as a Mental Health Day. This has been done from 1992, year 1992. There is World Mental Health Federation who has started this train with the purpose of prevention of mental illnesses and promotion of mental health. So how do they do it? Their whole programs, all kinds of programs are basically focused towards creating awareness in the community, instilling the hope amongst the people, and empowering people to take the action and create the change into the whole world. So being a psychiatrist and also being the executive member of Bombay Psychiatric Society, this is my small humble step or humble contribution towards achievement of that goal. I just want to reach out to the maximum people so that all the people get benefit of it and there is no one who suffers or no one who has lack of mental health help. They get the help in time. So that is what is my whole idea of having this today's session. So friends, every human being is composed of 3 aspects. Every human being basically has a 3 aspects: body, mind, and soul. Many of you, or maybe some of you, may not be agreeing with the concept of soul, or you may not be believing into it, but I'm sure everyone has body and mind. You all agree with that, right? Anyone here who feels that they don't have mind? Not possible, right? Like today, if you are sitting in front of your, say, mobile or TV or anything, the body is there. But if mind is not there, mind is somewhere, maybe it's busy in some work, you won't be able to attend. So it's very important to look at our mind as well. Though we have both the thing, but majority of time focus is only on the body. As I said, the mind is what helps us in everything, but we take care of body. We hardly bother about mind. Every day we don't see so much of change or so much of focus on the mind, how mind is working. We need to first understand that what is the importance of mind in our life. It won't be exaggeration if I say that our whole life we live in our mind. Friends, what happens in the morning? First thing, even before our body arises or body climbs down out of the bed, our mind is awake. And mind is the last thing to shut in the night. So our day or our life starts when mind is awake and our day ends when our mind is shut. So that is the importance of mind and focusing onto the mind. Friends, there's someone who is physically maybe very strong, very healthy, but if mind is not working really well, you may not be able to do even your day-to-day activities, right? But someone whose body is not working so well, but mind is very alert and very sharp, will create a miracles, will achieve a lot. Let me give you an example for this. I'm sure all of you must have heard about this person, Stephen Hawking, right? The great scientist, great physicist, and he is also a great author. He has given a lot of his contribution in the field of quantum physics, cosmology. He has also worked on understanding about the black hole, right? So he has given lot to the society in spite of having very debilitating degenerative disorder. It's a motor neuron disorder. It's a brain disorder basically, where his whole body was not functioning well. All the muscles were atrophied. And still, he could contribute so much. Why? Because his mind was definitely working really well. So that's the example how mind is very important. It's not only for the mental health, but even it's for the physical health. The mind is very important. So now comes the question, can our mind fall sick? Now, in my 25 years of experience, okay, of professional experience, this is the common question which have been asked by the majority of the people. It's always they feel that, oh, how can mind fall sick? Maybe it's because you feel that you cannot see the mind, or many a times when mind is not well, mind is having any kind of illness, any kind of problem, it also comes out in the form of physical symptoms. Like some may have the chest pain, some may have the anxiety, restlessness, breathing difficulty, tremors. So many a times people feel that, oh, it's a physical in nature. There is something wrong physically. For that matter, even the diabetes, hypertension, even if it goes high, they think, oh, it's just because of the body is not functioning well. Okay? So it's always focuses on the physical part of it. One can't think of it that, okay, it can be a mind which is falling sick. Even sometimes when there are psychological symptoms, where, person is not able to concentrate, or person is not having good mood, he's feeling low, he's feeling sad, or he's feeling very irritated, all this is blamed on others in life. That it's never the focus on our mind. We feel, oh, people around us are not really well, situation is difficult, there are so many problems, so many stresses in life, and that's why we are having this problem. But we don't focus it that, oh, we can also have the mental illnesses. Friends, a lot of research has been done, the studies have been done, even in India, where they have found that every one person in 5 people have the mental health problem. But how many of them actually approach mental health professionals? The number is so high. There are so many people who have been suffering because of mental illnesses, but hardly people approach the mental health professional. Hardly they seek the help. Like if we have any problem with eyes, we'll go to the eye specialist. Or if we have any problem with our kidney, we'll go to the kidney specialist. But if we have any problem with the mind, we don't approach mental health professional. Why? Because there's non-acceptance of mental illness. I don't know, one, maybe the people feel that, okay, mind is not so important. Maybe people feel that mind cannot fall sick, or maybe they feel that mental illnesses are not so dangerous, or it's not like life-threatening. But let me tell you, friend, again, this is being proven by a lot of studies and research, okay, where they have found that in India, I'm talking about India, globally, again, it's different, but even in India, every 4 minutes, one person is dying of suicide. And suicide is happening because of mental illness, basically the depression, the major depression. Or there can be some other illness. Isn't that a life-threatening situation? So it's very important that we pay attention to mental illnesses. Find out what is important, how we have to go about it. Because there is a lot of help. Nowadays, there is so much of research has been done, so many new kinds of treatment which have come, different kinds of medicine. And if person takes the help in time, then definitely it can be controlled very easy. But still people are not ready to approach, because the mental health, there is a lot of stigma. People are scared that if they approach or they go to the mental health professional, maybe psychiatrist or psychologist, they will be judged. They will be labeled something like, oh, ye to crazy hai, or is mental, or he is lunatic. All different kinds of labels which are there. So there's a lot of stigma. Today, the whole purpose of session is to destigmatize, to create this awareness and to have this approach to accept mental illnesses and go for the help. Take the help in time. The stigma comes because there are a lot of misconceptions, lot of myths which are there amongst the people. I have chosen today 7 of them. So I'm going to talk about which are very common and which I have seen in my practice. So what are those 7 myths which are there? which holds back people. The first myth is mental illnesses do not exist. As I told you, that people think either it's a physical cause, there is something wrong with their body, and that's why they are feeling whatever way they are feeling, whether it's an emotion or whether it's a thought process, okay? Or they feel it's, just the nature of the person. It's not the illness, but that person is only like this. So he behaves like that, okay? Or thirdly, they may feel it's only in the mind. I hear there now, oh, there is nothing, no problem with him. It's just in your head. It's only in your mind. And I tell them, yeah, actually, exactly, it's in your mind. And that's why it's very important to tackle it. See, it's in your mind means what? Even though we don't see the mind, okay, there's nothing specific part as such where we can label it, oh, this is mind. But the mind functions through one physical organ called brain. If there is any problem in the brain, okay, any damage, or there is some clot, which shows in the form of physical deformity, like, okay, some people have the paralysis, weakness of body, then definitely approach neurologist, isn't it? So when mind also works through the brain, there is no structural damage, but there is a damage into the functions of brain. Those neurochemicals which are there in our brain, okay, when they get affected, and that's how person gets the mental illnesses. Now, if see there is a problem in thyroid is high or low, you don't mind going to the endocrinologist, taking treatment for that. If there is problem with your insulin, you have the diabetes, you can go to the diabetologist and take the treatment. But if there is a problem, if there is an imbalance in your neurochemical, which comes out in the form of mental illnesses, then you're not ready to approach psychiatrist. Why? Isn't that important? So this is one biggest misconception what people have, and which one has to get rid of. What is the second misconception? Again, it's very common. People feel, oh, the person who is having any kind of mental illness, he is weak-minded. They'll say, oh, he's like that from the beginning, from the childhood, he's very shy, he is not able to communicate so well with the people, he gets scared of the people, he cannot take a firm decision. So he's been like this, and that's why he's behaving. It's nothing like that. Any person who is having mental illness does not mean the person is having any kind of a weak mind or mind is not functioning well. There's no problem with the person's intelligence. There's no problem with the person's memory. Because many times, people come and they say, doctor, but, he remembers so much, even more than me. So how can he have the mental illness? His memory is so sharp. Or maybe he's really good in studies and his brain is working really well. How can he have the mental illness? So mental illness and memory or intelligence is not related. Okay, the illnesses can happen even in spite of having good memory. These are different functions. Though everything is working through brain, but these are the different functions. So mental illnesses can happen even in the person who feels they are strong. They are mentally very strong. Again, many people, they come to me and they'll say, it's not possible, doctor, that I can have any kind of mental illness. I cannot be having depression. I cannot be having OCD because I'm really strong. I handle everything so well. I handle stress in life. I have been handling so many situations and I have done so much in my life. I have achieved so much. I'm really very strong mentally, physically. So it's not possible I can have mental illness. Again, there is no connection between. So one has to get over this myth as well. The fourth myth is it's just the laziness or it's just an excuse not to work. There's nothing wrong with the person. It's so common, especially with the children or the people who are going to the office or even the housewives. See what happens basically in depression. It's a common thing is endogenous depression I'm talking about. The mornings are really worst. The morning when person gets up, they feel really bad. As day passes, towards the end of the day, they start feeling little better. That's called diurnal variation, which is common, which is physiologically it's there. That's why what people feel. The morning, if student have to go to school, he's just using it as an excuse. He does not want to go to school and he's saying it's depressed. Or person does not want to go to office or does not want to do any work, household work. And that's why they just create this excuse that they are not feeling well. Then what happens? Evening, though they are fine. Then what is wrong? Okay. So again, this is a misconception. It's not laziness or they are not using it as an excuse, they are actually having the mental health problem. Another common misconception is any kind of person who has mental illness means he has to be very violent or very aggressive, abusive. Thanks to our media, what they show in the pictures or in the movies. Fortunately, now the trend is changing, but earlier it used to show a person who is really very unkempt, not properly dressed, or behaving very aggressively, or person who is throwing stone or using abusive language. Only that person means having a mental illness. Is it so? No. A person can have perfectly fine appearance, a behavior is good, but still can have the mental illness, especially the depression part of it, even the anxiety part of it. There is nothing aggression or violence which is there. Or sometimes the paranoid schizophrenia is one condition where a person won't look at all, even in his behavior or talk, that he is having any kind of a problem, but he still suffers from the mental illness. So this is again a misconception what people have about. Again, very common is it can be a black magic, or there is a evil spirit, the possession which has occurred. We have seen, and earlier days, thankfully now it's reducing, but even today also I see so many people. Not only they visit all different kinds of specialties, they will also go to the people who claims to have kind of a technique or tantric. So ye jhad phook karne wale, they will go to them also, but they won't come to the psychiatrist. Was thinking, nahi, ye sab bahar ka hai, or some kind of magic has been done. I mean, when I was working in JJ, we used to see people used to be put into the dargah, and it's not only about one community, even the all other community people also. And they would be literally chained with the iron chain, and they will be tied up outside dargah. Whether it's a heat, sun, raining, whatever, for weeks together, they would be in those situations. And when we used to say there were a lot of marks and injuries on their hand and their feet. So it's really very terrible, friends. And that's why it's very important that people get this awareness and they approach and they take the help in time and don't get carried away by all these black magic and spirit kind of. And last but not the least, very important misconception. Always people feel that if you approach the psychiatrist, means they are going to give you only medicines, and those medicines are nothing but sleeping pills, and all those pills make you feel very dull, drowsy, or not able to work properly, or those medications kind of shut your brain completely, they numb you. All these are misconceptions. And that's one of the biggest problem why people hesitate from approaching psychiatrists. Even when it's like very easy, if you come and take the treatment, you can lead your normal life. Okay. So see, medicines are not always causing drowsiness. Definitely, there are certain medicines which also have the effect on sleep, but it's also required because, as we have seen, the mind is related to sleep. When you have a good, healthy mind, means you get a sound sleep. If mind is disturbed, obviously your sleep is disturbed. So we have to give the medication which are required to take care of sleep as well. Okay? And again, see, in all the mental illnesses, it's not that only medicines are given. Depending on what kind of a treatment or what is the intensity of the illness, we have different kind of treatment. Mental illnesses, there are three commonly, I have categorized in three. The very mild one are mental disturbances. What happened day to day life, right? If something goes wrong, we feel angry, we feel agitated, we feel disturbed. Or if we have some loss or something goes against, our wish, then we feel very sad. If there is a loss of money, loss of job, we feel disturbed. Right? So all these are mental disturbances, which can be very well treated only with the psychotherapy. Their medications are not required so much. Well, second thing is mental disorder. Different kinds of disorder, mainly the psychosomatic disorder, which I already mentioned about, diabetes, hypertension, or there can be a depression also, the reactive depression. So in these mental disorders, we also can give therapy. Sometimes some medicines are required to be given here. Okay. And the last is the mental diseases, which I said here, mainly it's due to neurochemical disturbance or imbalance. And that imbalance comes because of the genetic makeup of the person. And obviously that genetic makeup or that imbalance cannot be corrected just by talking to the person. So in mental diseases, definitely we have to give the medicine, pharmacotherapy. So it's a part of it which needs the medicine, part of it needs only psychotherapy, and many a times we combine both the things together. So get this very clear in your head that it's not only the medicine, and all the medicines are not sleeping pills. Okay? They have the effect on sleep, but they are not just the plain sleeping pills. So do not hesitate to approach the psychiatrist and take the help and get the treatment done. It's for you, or you can spread this awareness for the people. Like, okay, now you understood and you're ready and you accept one can have the mental illnesses, mind can fall sick. But now when do we approach the profession? See, anyone who is having mental illness doesn't mean every time you have to just rush to the psychiatrist or psychologist all the time. Yeah, so for this, there are certain symptoms which you have to keep in mind, which will help you to identify when to approach. So what are those signs and symptoms which will be beneficial to identify that, okay, now the person has to go and seek the help. So first is sleeplessness. The sleep is the first indicator. The moment there is any kind of disturbance in the sleep, in both the forms, okay, either one is not getting the sleep, you don't feel sleepy. When you go to the bed, you have to lie awake for a long time, or it can be other way around also. Person goes to sleep, gets the sleep, and it's good, but they get up earlier than their usual time. Something like early in the morning by 3 or 4 o'clock, just they wake up, and after that they are not able to sleep. So there can be a lack of sleep, or there can be an excess sleep. That person just feel very sleepy. They sleep for hours together, maybe 8-9 hours, and in spite of that also during day also they feel very sleepy. They don't feel like getting up and doing any kind of work. So any kind of sleep disturbance should have this indication that there's something wrong with your mind. The second is sadness. Now, what is the difference? We do tend to feel sad, right? This is one of the emotion. Many times it can happen, like someone says something bad or hurtful and we feel sad. Maybe we plan to go somewhere and it gets cancelled, our trip gets cancelled, then we feel sad, right? Or it is like we lose some money and then we'll feel sad. So on these small things, it can happen. But this sadness can happen even if there is no specific reason. Okay, there's nothing in life, but still the person feels very sad. And it is there most of the time in a day. It's not that, okay, you're feeling sad for some time and after that you're fine. Okay, someone comes, your friend comes, and then you're, okay, happy and cheerful. It doesn't happen so. The sadness is there majority of the time, most of the days in a week. Person is sad and without reason. So again, that can be an indicator that there is something wrong with the mind. The stomach, okay. Now it's, if you can see here, all these signs and symptoms, I have tried to put it starting from the S letter, and that's why I have used here as a stomach. Basically, what I want to tell you here is problem with the appetite, the food. Maybe either the person don't feel like eating anything, person start neglecting their meals, or person feels excessively hungry and start landing up eating much more. So appetite can be either less or more. Third thing is sub-bekar. You lose interest in everything. Don't feel like doing anything. Whatever activities person was enjoying earlier, even something like watching movie with a friend, or maybe the hobbies, painting, dancing, whatever. It's not only related to work, but even the hobbies. Person feels there is no interest in life. Everything is hopeless. There is no charm into the life. Then is the suspiciousness. Person has this idea or a thought or belief that people are against him or her, or maybe people are against their family member. People can harm them. They get this suspiciousness, or they get suspicious about their own family members. Like commonly, many a times I see the patients between husband and wife, where husband starts suspecting wife that she is having some extramarital affair, or sometimes wife suspects her husband. And in actual reality, it's not there. This is told by the family members also that this is not reality. Okay, so it's only in the person's mind. Or many times people start having the hallucination where they feel that they are hearing some voices who are kind of conspiring against them or their family members. Or they sometimes start feeling that people are following them wherever they go and they are trying to harm them. So this suspiciousness is also an indicator that there is some kind of a mental illness. Another thing is person start feeling very slow, very lethargic, don't feel like doing anything. There's no energy left. That's one thing. Or it can be opposite also. One condition called as mania, where person has excessive energy. Person start talking a lot. Person may sleep for 4-5 hours, but still be very energetic. And person start doing unnecessary activity. Like for the housewife, she will take out the clothes from the cupboard which are already washed and she will start washing it again. So either they can become very slow or they become too energetic. Or another thing is stamina. Stamina is also start going down. I feel, oh, doctor, we used to do so much of work and still we were very fresh even towards the end of the day. But now we feel very tired, very lethargic. The day-to-day normal routine only we find it's like a burden. Sometimes people find it very difficult to even get up and brush their teeth and take a bath. So their own personal hygiene also, they find it's a kind of a big mountain in front of them. Another important symptom is the silly mistakes. Persons tend to become very forgetful, or their attention is very less. Concentration problem is there. They are not able to focus on the work at hand, and they start making very silly mistakes. Maybe they were supposed to send some mail to one person, they will send it to someone else, or they forget to write certain points into it, or maybe the women who are cooking, ladies, they will forget to put the spices or salt or anything into it, or they may land up putting it double, or things whichever you keep in some place. And it's not like, once in a while, obviously, normally also it can happen, but this becomes continuously, frequently it's there. So all these kind of silly mistakes which keeps happening. Then another important factor is self-blame. Especially it's seen in the patients suffering through depression. They have a lot of self-blame, lot of guilt feeling. Even for the activities which they haven't done. For everything, they will start taking blame on their own self. And last but not the least, the suicide. The feeling of attempting suicide, where person feels there is no point in living this life. There's nothing left. They feel very hopeless, very helpless, very worthless. They just want to end their life. And some people actually attempt also. Or person may not have exactly the suicidal ideation, the thought of committing suicide, but they may feel, oh, it will be nice, like, okay, if we die, what we call it as a death wish. Or they feel, I feel like running away from the home. I'm just tired and sick of the whole thing. I just want to go away from here. So see why I'm putting all this, because see, people, if you come across some people who are talking in their, talk, and you come across such kind of words or such kind of sentences where people feel, oh, they are losing interest, they feel like running away, be very alert. Talk to them, find it out. Okay. That doesn't mean if someone says, you just have to rush and be panicky. But yeah, if it's happening frequently, you have to be very alert. So these are the few symptoms which I have tried to put it 10 symptoms. So even if there are 3-4 symptoms which are there continuously, again, what is important, as I said, it's not if these symptoms are there once in a while or only one symptom is there, but if it's continuously there for say 10 to 14 days of time period, it's a red alert. You have to take the help, approach professionals for it. Yeah, friend. So having known that, you will say, okay, what is the benefit? Why one has to go and take the treatment and what is it going? If your mind is healthy, all these 3 areas, you will find that a lot of benefits are there. What are those benefits? First of all, the health. As I said, if mind is not well, it does not have the effect only on the functioning of mind, but also on your body. There are so many psychosomatic illnesses which are there. Almost, I would say, the 98 to 99% of illnesses are called psychosomatic, where origin is in the mind and the effects are seen in the body. And we'll end up treating only the physical cause. We don't bother to look at it, the mental cause. The moment we approach that and we take care of the psychological issue, the health improves. Okay. So if you get the timely help, if the person is, treated for his or her psychological illnesses, then person can have the complete health. It's not only the absence of illness, but the complete health. Then definitely the relationship. Anytime, see, if person's mind is not working well, the relationships are bound to hamper. Right? There are a lot of interpersonal relationships issues which are there. So with the healthy mind, person can enjoy the good relationships, good bonding between the family members, and obviously the productivity, because your concentration, attention, everything improves, and you are able to focus on work, whatever work it is, whether domestic or your career option. So you are able to give your 100%. So output is really good. So this is in short, I wanted to tell you about the benefits. So now friends, since I have mentioned all this, are you all ready to take this pledge? Let's pledge. As I said, the whole purpose is to create the awareness from one person to reach out to the many people. So we take this oath. Okay? So what does this oath stands for? O is for open mind and arms. So from today, we are going to be accepting the mental illnesses and the people who are having the mental illnesses. Okay? Because it's always seen as that they are nuisance or they are harmful to the society, and people try to keep the person suffering from the illness out of society. No doubt, I understand when they are having violent or aggressive behavior, they need hospitalization. But that is only for the treatment part of it. You don't have to just outcast them from the society. So be open-minded and with the open arms, accept the people who are having the mental illnesses. Create the awareness. You yourself be aware, and now whatever knowledge you are getting today, please spread it to the people and create awareness amongst the people about the mental health, so that no one suffers unnecessarily because of mental illnesses. And treat with dignity, friends. Because as I said, it's very commonly it happens, we tend to label them. We tend to use the word, oh, he is mental, he is crazy person, don't bother. Or people are not given a chance to contribute in any kind of a decision making. If person is having any kind of mental illnesses, and that happens many a times, many patient comes to me. Fortunately, now it is like reducing it as the awareness is increasing, but still it's a long way to go. Many times in the family also they'll say, oh, he's like, thoda sa idhar se hai, so not to bother, not to take his opinion, not to do that. Okay, treat them also with the dignity. And H is for the help. Please reach out in whatever way you can help. Even if it's just sitting and listening to them, give that much time. Find out what's happening. Many a times, person just wants to open out their hearts. They just want to talk. Even talking helps. So just listen to them, be with them, and also guide them. Show them this. They can take the professional help. Try to convince them so that they can take the help in time. So friends, let's pledge and have this oath, because see, every one individual also can make a difference. So helping one person might not change the whole world, but it could definitely change the world for that one person whom you are helping. So friends, it's my humble request to all of you to be an agent, be an instrument in spreading this knowledge about mental illness amongst the society, and let our society be free of mental illnesses, or at least less number of mentally ill people who are there.